Who is the Arcmage? Guys, today we're doing a deep dive into who the heck is the Arcmage. Now, there is so much to cover on this character, so of course I will miss quite a few bits, but this is just going to be an overview of his story. So yeah, let's get right into it. The Arcmage canonically first appeared in this game Battleship Mayhem by Blaze PCGs. If you see this hole right here, he was actually right there. His name was Teddy in that. So, if you didn't know, the Arcmage is basically like a parasite. He takes over hosts, and Teddy, the old man, happened to be his first host. Just hanging out in that hole. It was never really described how he got there, but this game was just the first one to introduce him. Blaze PCGs, aka Nick, later describes him or shows him in this game, Doomsday. Teddy appears on the planet again, a planet that is about to be struck by asteroid. This time, he wants to stay there. He wants to be killed by the asteroid. Now, my theory is that Teddy wanted to stay there because he had the Arcmage parasite in him from the beginning, and he just wanted to not hurt anybody, because I think that the Arcmage parasite consumes whoever the host is and manipulates their decisions. So Teddy could have been a good guy at first, but he was consumed by the Arcmage. In the game Liberation of Coloton, it is found out that this character named Mezotikin is the Arcmage's son, and he even has a wife. And this game takes place on the planet Toten. It was created by Sketchy Penguin. Very good game, one of my favorite PCGs ever made. And in this game, we find out that the Arcmage is secretly working with Harold. At first, it seems like they don't really want to, but as we find out, as Mezotikin keeps asking more and more questions, Harold actually kills the Arcmage's wife, and the Arcmage has no regrets. He seems a little sad, but he doesn't seem too changed. In my sequel, Search for the Dagger, Mezotikin goes on another venture. He runs into his father, the Arcmage, again. Okay, so you know how the Arcmage is a parasite? So the Arcmage must have taken over one of these citizens from Toten and became his father. But then the Arcmage, like the parasite, engulfed him and took him towards a darker path. And that is why he does not feel many regrets. At the end of this game, Mezotikin, his mother brings out a dagger, which is the Blood Legion dagger, which is like one of the most powerful daggers in the whole PCG universe. It has a whole game on it, pretty much. His mother, like his ghost of his mother, holds out the dagger. Mezotikin takes it and kills the Arcmage. Now, this is where we think that the Arcmage ends. So this game kind of is at the end of the timeline, but the Arcmage is brought back in Death Ward Hospital. That hospital brings him back, and he is out again as a parasite, finding a new host. So during that time, in Doodle Wars 2, it is explored that he goes back to Teddy, but Teddy's getting weaker and weaker. So, in this game, he finds Wolf 7, and basically, as you can see from this picture, he's taking over him and making him his new host. Now, let's get back to the middle of the Arcmage's pretty much life. So, in my series, the Bernard series, it started off the game The Maze. That didn't really have the Arcmage in it. So let's get back to my series called the Bernard series. In the game Streets of Kaboo, Teddy can be seen just walking around in a desert. He's planning to start a new company called the Purple Candy Inc. or Incorporated. So he's giving Bernard some samples, and basically these pills, they're basically pills, but he calls it purple candy, suck the souls out of its people, and they give the Arcmage more life. So that's the way the Arcmage regenerates life, and he can't really truly die. So he not only got brought back from Death Ward Hospital, but he can now use this purple candy to keep him alive forever. He is also a spellcaster. He has many spells. He has a wand. I mean, my friend Blaze created him, and he said he was a wizard. He was originally created for my trading card game because he drew a character card, and boom, the Arcmage was pretty much created. And then it was later connected that he's Teddy. So in the next game, the Arcmage, or aka Teddy, can be seen creating a purple candy ink and making it a whole factory. Like in this screen, he's created a huge factory and manufacturing tons of these pills that can make him last for pretty much ever. He's seen in his Teddy form because many people speculate that he turns to the Arcmage at night while he's his true form or his host form in daylight. Now, Zach also made a few games like Arcmage Victorious, which was basically an alternate version of the Arcmage. But this was never like Zach. I asked Zach if it was the true Arcmage, but he said it wasn't. So this doesn't really connect to the main Arcmage, but there is other variants out there. The Arcmage also appears in World of Jack, which is a 3D PCG by Zach, and I don't really remember the whole story. It might even be the alternate Arcmage, who's kind of like a cloaky, ghost-like figure, but that was never explored. Recently, in Team Apex 1 by Wizo, it is explored that the Arcmage has taken up a new host. So this just shows he needs to keep finding new hosts because his original ones keep deteriorating and dying, and apparently his purple candy ink isn't lasting that long because maybe Bernard is taking it down from the inside. I still have to make the 4th game in that series, but that's what's assumed. So he needs to turn to other alternatives and find more and more hosts. So yeah, guys, I know I missed quite a bit, but that's just a brief overview of the Arcmage. So hopefully this video can give you guys some ideas of how to make Arcmage PCGs, hopefully inspire you to continue his story, and I'm very excited to see how the Arcmage progresses from being a trading card to appearing in a PCG roundabout to now having full games for him. I've made quite a few Arcmage games like the Dungeon of the Arcmage and a few others, but those are mainly just puzzle-based PCGs and don't have too much to do with the lore. Other than that, the Arcmage keeps getting more powerful and more powerful. Even in Team Apex 1, he is seen invading Earth with his army of guys. And in Conflict Catalyst, he can be seen making another army of Corrin people, which he basically just uses his magic to make these cheap soldiers for his army. So usually the Arcmage is known to work alone, but he's teaming up with Herald the Evil Ghost, guys, Corrin people. Sorry the video ended so early, guys. I just lost some of the footage, but yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.